Hello and welcome to the new sock tutorial. This time we are doing Hermione's Everyday Socks and they are by Dreams in Fibre. The link is below if you haven't got it already. So this sock has a 4-row repeat pattern. It's very simple, it's just knit and purl stitches, so it's nothing we haven't done before. Sorry, my name's Tina if this is the first time you've watched these tutorials, and my channel is Simply in Stitches, and we are doing a little knit along originally for my cross stitch friends on FlossTube to learn knitting, but other people have joined in and everyone's very welcome. So this is what we're doing today. So I am going to be using my 9-inch ChiaoGoo 2.25 needles because that's what I prefer to use. For the main colour I'm going to be using Head Over Heels by Stylecraft, and this colourway is Eiger, and it should knit up like that. And we're also going to be doing a contrast. The contrast is absolutely optional, so you can just do one colour if you want to, or you can use two colours. So for the contrast, cuffs, heels and toes, I'm using Drops Fable, and this colourway hasn't got a name, it's just 109. So I thought those would go together quite nicely, so that's what I'll be using. So first of all, I'm just going to be doing the same cast on today as we did in the last socks. If you found that cast on wasn't stretchy enough, I shall put a link below for a tutorial for Jenny's super stretchy cast on, and you can do that. I'm not doing that here today because it's not something I use, so I don't feel I'm the best person to show you. I think it's better if you see her tutorial because it's her cast on. So if you'd like a stretchier cast on, please go to that link below. So we are just going to be I'm going to be casting on 64 stitches because that's what I usually cast on. If you cast on different stitches last time and you found that is a better fit for you, then go by that. So we're just going to be casting on 64 stitches in the usual way. Okay, so we've made our little knot, a slip knot or just a normal knot if you can't do a slip knot, and we're just going to cast on 64 stitches. So we're literally going to do as if we're knit stitching, but then put that stitch onto that other needle. As I say, I'm doing 64 stitches. This is for a medium size foot. I'm a UK size 6. I hope you're excited to do a new pair of socks. This is a very popular pattern. It does do a very nice pattern, even though it's very simple. It gives a nice texture to the sock. If you're worried about joining a different colour, don't worry. It is just really simple, to be honest. All you have to do is literally start knitting with the new colour and then just sewing the ends. So yeah, it's quite nice to have a contrast depending on what type of yarn you have. Somebody suggested previously in the comments that they thought it would be easier to cast on a straight needle and then transfer to the circular. If you prefer to do that, then go ahead. As I always say, find the right way for you. I'm not professionally trained or anything. This is just how I got taught by my mother and grandmother, so it's literally Chinese whispers passed down is how I knit. So I'm not telling you what's the right way, I'm just telling you what way I do it, what works for me. Obviously I've learnt a lot from YouTube as well. It's something I always go to when I come up against something I haven't seen before in a pattern, because patterns are changing with the indie designers. Things are changing to the round, whereas I always used to knit flat. So there's always new techniques to be learnt, so YouTube is a really good place to find out new techniques. So I'm just giving you a starting point so you understand how knitting works, and then you can go and choose whatever you want to do and learn new ways and find out what's best for you. So we're just doing little cast on stitches, just a neat little row. It is quite fiddly, but as you know, if you've done this before, once you get going, it's a breeze. Well, it's a breeze if you get on with it. I know some people didn't get on with it, but I had a lot of people that came back and said that they've tried the DPNs, they've tried Magic Loop, and this was easier for them as well, and that's why I do it this way. But everybody's different, so I suggest you give all the ways a go to see what works for you. We will be starting a sweater in about a week's time, so if you haven't seen the dates video telling you what we've got coming up this year for the tutorials, please check that out and see what you're interested in. So if you've got any birthdays or anything coming up and you want to ask for yarn, it's a good thing to stock up on. So how many have I got? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32. I'm only halfway. How are you getting on? Are you zooming ahead of me? I seem to be all fat fingers this morning. Cats have settled down a bit. I think they've just had their mad 5 minutes. I'm excited to try that different yarn. I've not tried the Stylecraft one before. I've used a lot of West Yorkshire spinners with the mock fair isle. I really like that. And I've used some indie dye, and that was really nice and soft. I've really been enjoying wearing those. So it's nice to try the different ones to see how they come out. It's always quite exciting to see. You never quite know when there's different colours. That one's got it on the side, so there's more of an idea. Yeah, it makes it more interesting, I find, for me, knitting it up. By the feel of it, the Stylecraft is more what I call a work shoe sock. I wear my socks to work. I'm on my feet all day, and I wear my hand socks every day in my work shoes. So I like ones that are sturdy, and so far I haven't had any holes in any of my socks. They've held up really well, and they do feel so much better on my feet. My feet feel better for wearing hand knitted socks rather than the thin cotton ones you buy. I know a lot of people don't like to wear their hand knitted socks in shoes, which seems a shame after going to all that trouble. It's a little pleasure of mine when you've got to wear a uniform. It's nice to have some interesting socks on, add a bit of personality to a otherwise dull uniform. I think because a lot of the knitting podcasters, they do go for the hand-dyed, more luxury yarns all the time, and those are the ones I wouldn't wear in my work shoes, because I don't think they would withstand so much wash and wear and tear from walking in shoes all the time, so that's probably why. I'm definitely not a yarn snob. I think different yarns have different uses. I love a luxury yarn, but unfortunately I don't have the lifestyle for luxury yarns every day. It's nice to wear them, as I say, at home for socks, or as a scarf. It's nice because it doesn't get the wear and tear, but for clothing and for work shoes I do prefer more robust yarns. Right, let's see. I've been jabbering on. I've probably done too many stitches now. Oh, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 50, 52, 54, 56, 58, 60. So I just need 4 more stitches. And that's my 64 stitch cast on. So now you've got your yarn on this side, making sure that it's not twisted at all, it's all facing down. And we are then going to just do a knit 1, purl 1, rib. So I'm just going to put my little stitch marker on there so I know where the beginning is. And then we're going to knit 1 and then purl 1 all the way around. Just exactly the same as the last sock we did. So this could be a little tight to start with, but then the next row will feel much better for you. So we're just doing knit one, purl one. So we're going to yarn at the back for a knit, then yarn forward for the purl. I will be doing a little library of stitches. Somebody reminded me of that, and I will be doing that in the future. It's just time at the moment, to be honest. Slow upload time and just time to do everything. So I will be doing right from basic knit, purl to doing slip stitches and different things, all the things we're coming across I'll be doing. So if you do a pattern in the future and you're not sure if you remember something correctly, like a slip knit, then you can just look it up and it will just be under whatever the abbreviation is in the pattern. So that will be coming at some point later. As I say, I still sometimes forget if it's something I don't use, so I sometimes look on YouTube for something just to be sure. So just knit one, and then purl one, all the way around. Are you keeping up with me now? Are you all practiced and as fast as me? I'm not a fast knitter by any means, so I wouldn't be surprised if you've actually go faster than me. As I say, I'm doing it curved around the camera, so it's not, I'm a bit hand behind my back really, knitting, which may be a good thing. So you can see I'm not so fast as I would be if I was just in my normal relaxed position. So we're coming up to the end. Where you have your stitch marker. It is important to have some sort of stitch marker in. You may think that you can see where you started, but as you go down the foot you will lose track of where that is, so it is worth just putting something in. As I've said before, it doesn't have to be a proper stitch marker, just a piece of spare yarn is fine. Just make sure it's totally different colour to what you're using, especially if you're using multicolours. It's not any of those colours, so you don't think it's a stitch to make you go wrong, especially when we are doing the pattern, because then it will throw your whole pattern out. Ooh, that's a tight one. One in. That was saving the best till last, wasn't it? Now I've got one. So you should finish on a pearl one, because your next one, when you slip your marker, is going to be a knit. Ooh. So we're going to carry on round. So next one's a knit, then pearl. And you're literally going to do this for, how many rows do we need? 20 rows you're going to do this for. Or if you have a preference already for how long you like your rib to be, some people like a longer rib, some people prefer a shorter rib, just customise it. It won't make any difference to the pattern. So, but I would do it following the pattern and do a 20 row. So there you can see the ribs just starting to form. So I shall leave you there to carry on with your 20 rows, because I'm sure watching me doing knit one, purl one isn't that interesting. So I shall see you when we have the cuff done, and the next video we'll be starting the leg of the foot with the texture pattern. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in a little while. Bye for now.